Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel Learn with Virali. I'm Virali, your guide on this coding adventure. In today's video, we'll learn how to build tables in HTML having column headings on the top as our priority. So let's get started. So first, we'll create a blueprint of our HTML page using the VS Code shortcut, pressing exclamation mark and then the enter key. Now let us change the title of this document as Tables in HTML Part 1. Jumping back onto the body tag, for creating tables in HTML, we'll be using something called as a table tag in order for us to build up any table in HTML. Now everybody here is pretty much aware of how to create a table or what does a table actually consist of. Tables are made up of rows and columns, so we have to again build the same using our coding pattern in HTML. So we can do that using a tag which we call it as a th tag, mentioning table heading as the full form of what a small th means. So the first heading is first name, next we have is the last name, and the third column that we'll be building in would be an email address. Now, since our columns are ready, let us go ahead and build up rows for each of these columns. Each row will contain data which is going to correspond to all of the three columns that we have listed above. So those data can be specified using a tag called as a td tag, specifying table data, which is going to specify data for each of the columns that were written above. So let us say first name as ABC, last name as X, Y, and Z, and the email is going to be abc@gmail.com. Now I'll duplicate this row once again just to have a little more data in our table, changing the few details that we had in our previous row. So this email would be yui@gmail.com. I'll save this file and let us go on to our browser screen to see what is the table or how the table is looking right now. Okay, so the table really looks pretty much similar, just missing out a set of couple borders, which is actually helping us to bifurcate all these different columns and the rows, wherein we have our first column heading as first name, second as a last name, and the third column heading is an email, having two different rows created with different sets of data. Now in order for us to build up border across this particular table, we have to make a small change into our code wherein we can specify border property across our table tag, which is we'll specify an inline style for our table tag to make sure that it does have a proper border across different rows and the columns. So let us make that change back into our code. So jumping back to our code and going on to the table tag, I'll specify border as 1 pixel solid. Save this file, go back to my browser screen again to see the change. And there we go. We would be able to see the borders now properly, helping us to understand that right now this is looking like an actual table. In the next video, we'll understand how to make this column headings onto the row part, as in how to build a horizontal table in the next video. So stay tuned and happy coding.